As we all know by now, the Patriots have won their 4th Super Bowl in franchise history, all 4 of them with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. And it appears to me that all everybody wants to talk about is the second and goal call by Pete Carroll, because yes, the Seahawks were in shotgun formation, which means that they were going to pass or something like that. Not necessarily because of Marshawn Lynch. And I agree, it wasn't necessarily a great play call there. But if the play call was bad, can you imagine how bad the execution was? See how that works? I mean, seriously, if you thought that one call cost the Seattle Seahawks the game, well, obviously you forgot. Obviously you didn't watch the whole 4th quarter, because last I checked, the Seahawks were up 24-14 heading into the 4th quarter. And all they were doing, and all the Seattle Seahawks were doing was punting the ball in those first 2 4th quarter drives. You know, they went 3 and out in both those drives. You cannot do that and you can't do that when you're facing Tom Brady. And I'm not just blaming the 3 and outs. I'm blaming the execution on the Seattle Seahawks defense. They just kept getting picked apart by Tom Brady. They were doing that. I mean, Brady was picking them apart the entire game with those dink and dunks. Seahawks never give up dink and dunk plays like that. But it also helps to have a running back like Shane Vereen. Something the Broncos did not have in last year's Super Bowl. A pass catching running back. I mean, seriously, this goes down as one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. This will go down as one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. Second greatest to me. I think the greatest one was Super Bowl 32. Not because it was the Broncos and the Packers, because there was some action in all 4 quarters of the game. I mean, there wasn't much action in the first quarter. The only action in the first quarter was that Tom Brady interception, and who knows what the fuck Brady was thinking when he threw that pass. You know? But hey, in the second quarter, that's when things got really exciting. 28 points in the second quarter. You know, Brady scored the first. You know, Patriots scored first with Brandon LaFell. Then the Seahawks answered right back with Marshawn Lynch. And Russell Wilson just basically chucking the ball down the field. He was chucking the ball down the field almost the entire game. I mean, it took Wilson. Okay, I take that back. Not the entire game, but for the most part, whenever the Seahawks were behind, all Russell Wilson was doing was just throwing the ball down the field and taking chances. But he has a good arm. I'm sick and tired of people saying that Russell Wilson sucks and this, that, and the other. You know, yes, it took Russell Wilson until 5 minutes left to complete his first pass, but then his second pass, of course, there you go. But yeah, then Seattle tied it up at 7. Then the Patriots answered right back in the 2-minute warning, and then with 30 seconds left, the Seahawks answered right back. I mean, that was a really impressive drive with 31 seconds to go, which ended with a Chris Matthews touchdown. His first career NFL touchdown in any game. and Chris Matthews had a hell of a fucking game. 4 catches, 109 yards. Then, the third quarter, the Seahawks, it looked like the Patriots were going to be in trouble because Tom Brady, because the Seahawks got going once again. Russell Wilson throwing another long pass, 45-yard bomb to once again Chris Matthews. It only ended in a field. It ended in a field goal, but that field goal got the Seahawks up 17-14. But then the next Patriots drive, Tom Brady throws an interception to Bobby Wagner, and the Seahawks capitalize right off the bat with Doug Baldwin catching a touchdown pass. His only catch of the game, beating Darrelle Revis. Granted, the official was in the way, but you know what? It is what it is. By hook or crook, Doug Baldwin beat Darrelle Revis on that touchdown. Then and that's how the Seahawks were up by 10 points, and they shut the Patriots out 10-0. But then the fourth quarter happened. Like I said, first Seahawks drive of the fourth quarter, 3 and out, punt the ball. Patriots capitalize, down the field, 4 touchdown. And like I said, Brady kept picking the defense apart. And then Brady threw the pass to Amendola. Patriots were only down 24-21. Next Seahawks drive in the fourth quarter, once again, 3 and out. Don't do jack fucking shit. And then once again, Tom Brady picking apart the Seattle Seahawks defense. And then after that, of course, Brady throws the touchdown pass to Julian Edelman to put the team up front, 28-24. Now the Seahawks were not going away without a fight. That's for damn sure. And Russell Wilson, another bomb downfield. Probably should have been a routine incompletion, but give Jermaine Kearse credit for concentrating on that, on making the catch, because holy shit, because that was one of the greatest catches, maybe in NFL history, not just Super Bowl history, but in NFL history as well. Only one catch beats it though, and that's the Antonio Freeman catch against the Vikings. But then 2 plays later, like I said, I agree, not that great a play call, but the execution could have been better. Ricardo Lockett could have done a better job of fighting for that ball, and in ways, I guess in ways he did, because I rewatched the play over and over again. It was obviously a pick play, an illegal pick play at that. So even if he caught it, who knows what would have happened? I doubt the referee would have thrown the flag. I mean, give me a break. I don't think so. Of course, the Patriots were... Funny thing, though, the Patriots were... you would think the Patriots would have called a timeout, to conserve some time and shit like that, but they decided not to. They just... Because they didn't want to give the Seahawks any more time to think about the next play. And the Patriots did not let them score. That was their biggest mistake, in my opinion, in Super Bowl 46. Wasn't the reason why the Patriots lost to the Giants entirely. Wasn't entirely the reason. They could have... But, give me a break. But give Malcolm Butler credit. He got in front of the receiver. He just wanted it more. And Malcolm Butler becomes a Super Bowl hero. the Patriots won the game, 28-24. So congratulations to Tom Brady. 13 career Super Bowl touchdown passes, which now breaks Joe Montana's record. He broke the previous record was 11, and Tom Brady threw 4 more touchdowns, so it's 13. First one to Brandon LaFell, second one to Gronk on a long pass. Brady wasn't throwing deep often, not as often as Russell Wilson anyway. Third one to Amendola, and the fourth one to Edelman. And what really ruined the game was fucking Bruce Irvin instigating the goddamn fight or whatever. You know, I understand the Seahawks were frustrated and shit like that. Rightfully so, because their team couldn't get the job done. But you know what? Do a better job of executing and do a better job of stopping Tom Brady. You know, and holy shit. Funny moment of the game when, after the interception by Malcolm Butler, I saw both of the reactions, of course. Brady's reaction was like, holy shit. Finally, the monkey's off of his back, or whatever. Well, not entirely off of his back, but you know what I mean. And then you look at Richard Sherman's reaction, and he looked like he just, he looked like he was regretting going down to the convenience store, buying some convenience store sushi, and now his stomach was getting a little bit sour, and fuck. So Seattle Seahawks, tough break. But bottom line is this: they're 1-2 in Super Bowls, and the Seahawks are the first team ever to blow a fourth quarter 10-point lead in a Super Bowl. Just saying. Not saying this to fuck with Seahawks fans. I'm just stating the fucking fact. And the Seahawks are the first team, the first defending Super Bowl champion since the '97 Green Bay Packers to lose the Super Bowl the following year. And Patriot haters are going to be crying like fucking bitches after this one. But you know what? Too fucking bad. Alright, let me bring up a couple of more points before I officially wrap up Super Bowl 49. Everybody keeps talking about how the Seahawks were running the ball effectively with Marshawn Lynch, and that's why they keep bringing up the final play call of the game for the Seattle Seahawks, which some say was god awful. Well, guess what though? That doesn't mean the Patriots. That doesn't mean the Seahawks were running it situationally, running it well situationally. You know, give me a break. Especially on key 3rd and 1s or whatever, the Patriots were able to stop Marshawn Lynch there for I'd say half the time anyway. I get where they're coming from on that final play for the Seattle Seahawks because yes, I understand that. Yes, you run the football, and then you call timeout, and then it's 3-down territory. I understand all that, but once again, when you're blowing a 10-point lead, a 24-14 lead, you can't just blame it all on that one call. That's ridiculous. Another point I wanted to bring up was the impact of the Super Bowl 49 outcome. Of course, it turns out that Richard Sherman may need surgery, not necessarily Tommy John surgery, as the media has been reporting. Earl Thomas, who went the entire game with a separated shoulder or whatever, or I've heard a torn labrum. in his shoulder. And Cam Chancellor, turns out he suffered an MCL tear and a bone bruise or whatever the fuck. It just goes to show you how tough Cam Chancellor really is. But you gotta question how much of an impact or how little of an impact it had on the outcome of the Super Bowl. I believe it had zero impact. I believe it had zero impact because last year when the Broncos were getting blown out by the Seahawks 43-8, the Broncos had a shit ton of injuries. But of course, to be fair though, most of the Broncos players that were on injured reserve were already injured. And I keep forgetting Jeremy Lane who broke his arm, and Cliff Averill though, who suffered a concussion. That being said, that does not explain why the offense in the fourth quarter was so goddamn inept. All right, that wraps up Super Bowl 49. That wraps up my review. Hopefully this vid is okay. Otherwise, whatever. So my third year picking games on YouTube, my third Super Bowl, and yes, I am 3-0 on YouTube in Super Bowls. Not that I give a shit, but because I got what I really wanted, and that was one hell of a fucking game, and it was one hell of a fucking game. At the end of the day. But the reason why I bring up the 3-0 is because yes, I took the Patriots. I was this close to taking the Seattle Seahawks. I gotta be honest with you. I was this close to taking the Seattle Seahawks. But I decided, fuck it. Stick with the Patriots because, like I said, I did not see Tom Brady or Bill Belichick losing another Super Bowl. So congrats to the Patriots. Congrats to Brady. Congrats to Rob Gronkowski and Rob Ninkovich, who won on his birthday. Vince Wilfork, Patrick Chung, whatever, Malcolm Butler, Darrelle Revis, give me a break, Brandon Browner, Julian Edelman, a very underrated wide receiver, Brandon LaFell, he won a Super Bowl without Cam Newton. Trying to think of other players that I got to congratulate. Of course, the Patriots' offensive line, which was ridiculous. And that's pretty much it. All right. Next 3 videos will be parts 1, 2, and 3 of the 2014 season in review. Expect all 3 of those videos to be excruciatingly long. Just a fair warning. All right. That's it. That's all. Till next time, later, fuckers.